All the goth DJs and Twitch witches are hanging out on Thursday for the bad VHS rips, unblinking eyes, and fire by night. Thetans and Satans comes from an interest in the cult of Scientology, moral panics, Satanism, and how they set the tone for the extremist social media panics of today. We really earn our Weird Left Twitch badge with this show, watching the world go red light in reverse every Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/EchoplexMedia. Find our full schedule at echoplexmedia.com.
In this world, cesspool of kindness and ethical blindness. So please excuse my sarcastic tone. I'm a bit underwhelmed by the sample shown. Mr. Bistro fraternity guy, you got my asshole bloodshot eyes. Get drunk and fight every night. Idolize Bradley, belittle women's rights. Homophobic, racist, and don't give a fucking hey. Do you think you can drive a bigger truck? So wear your baseball cap to decide to let everyone know that you're a nice guy. So cool, was so impressed. Lots of chicks and a barrel chest. Cause you're a real man. Punch or punch, gonna piss in your face while you're passed out drunk. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. She's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planets. I just can't understand it. So could define by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off. I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off. Read into the lyrics, cause everybody gets their just desserts. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first. Mr. Whitebeard, you're next on the list. Such a nice guy who speaks through his fist. Prick with a penchant for messing with heads. A broken nose for dinner and breakfast in bed. Alcoholic, paranoid, and suicidal too. But you'll probably kill her before she gets away from you. Screws in the blood, let it cry. All your friends say that you're a nice guy. Have a drink, this one's on me. Look, you're doing fine, losing to your disease. Tomatoes, I'll pack your bags. Bury you like castrated cat. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. We're all nice guys, but all of you are assholes. He's a nice guy, she's a nice guy. Hey, Tom Bo's a nice guy. All of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planet. The podcast put a body by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off. I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off. Read into the lyrics. Don't let the fucking pill quench your thirst. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Plex. We do the show live every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on Twitch at twitch.tv/EchoplexMedia. Podcast listeners, there's kind of a lot of you. I don't see all you in the chat every Sunday night, so follow the channel. Maybe one of these nights you'll catch a live show. And you can support this project. Just go to echoplexmedia.com, click the support tab, and this right here is what the people want.
I don't hate the cops. And there's a person inside when the truncheon stops. Oh, donate the cops. Oh, when the raiders come, who will protect the shops? Donate the cops. They're a sensitive bunch. If you don't stop throwing your rocks, snap, crackle, pop is the sound of a taser. Your body drops. Donate the cops. Donate the cops. Donate the cops. Donate the cops. Thank your local police, 'cause they don't do nothing wrong. Thank your local police. Got rid of the corruption and the racism is gone. They've been keeping the peace, keeping homeless folks out of the parks and malls. Got a cure for your social disease. Follow the law, don't hate the cops. 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 Put your hands above your head and show you're not afraid. I'm the fearless judge that your skin color's gonna get. And if you die before the sun comes up, the paperwork will take forever. Well, it might have worked out a little bit better if you didn't hate the cops. 'Cause they don't do nothing wrong. Donate the cops. You can't blame them for just doing their job. Donate the cops. Well, you gotta wonder, how much would it cost for you to be shot at and stabbed at by maniacs and drunks? Donate the cops. 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 Donate the cops.
All right, our first story tonight on the podcast is Carrie Lake. We've been opening up the show with Carrie Lake a lot lately. This is unfortunate that it's Carrie Lake and Charlie Kirk, actually. So it's like doubly unpleasant, and it's kind of long. It's six and a half minutes. So basically, show's starting off real well.
Carrie, what is the remedy that you are asking for in this lawsuit?
Well, there's a couple of things. We want to inspect the Maricopa County ballots from the election, including the signature envelopes and corresponding.
She wants the fucking envelopes from an election. She wants the envelopes from an election last month. She just wants all the envelopes. Like, where the fuck are you going to put them and who's going to look at them? That's a lot of envelopes.
Signatures on file. We believe, as we extrapolated the data we have and the experts that looked at this, that when we look at signatures, that up to 130,000 ballots will turn out to be fake mail-in ballots. They don't have a real voter behind them because the signature verification is not there. Now, if you are for mail-in
who do you know how many people it would require to go through all the ballots in Maricopa County? Maricopa County just did it. It took a while.
No, there's a segment of the population that are for that. They like the convenience of it. They travel. They don't like to go to the polling places. Then you have to admit that the only way to keep them safe is through a valid signature that can be cross-checked, correct? They're not doing that right now. And we can't have a system where we have the majority mail-in ballots and that just becomes something they ignore or don't do. And that was where we had 3 of our whistleblowers showing how messed
Hold that
up.
thought really quick. Sorry, I want to talk about the whistleblowers. Sorry, we got to welcome back our radio audience. And Carrie Lake will be at AmFest. Go to amfest.com. Hang right there.
Wait, yes. Are we on?
Man, I mean, my show gets a little, it's a little hinky at times when we're having guests on unexpectedly and stuff. But what the fuck is this?
Welcome back, everybody. Email us freedom@charliekirk.com. Carrie Lake is here. Sorry, Carrie. We got radio, we got Real America's Voice, we got podcasts, we got streaming. Carrie, tell us about your 3 whistleblowers.
We had more than 3. We had 4 whistleblowers, but 3
there's 4 now. Look out.
For Maricopa County, and they were doing the signature verification process, and they were shocked at how many of the mail-in ballots were coming in with bad signatures. There's 3 levels that you go through to approve a signature, and they were failing to the tune of tens of thousands a day. And they would reach out to their colleagues on the other side. Once a signature fails, it goes over to be cured. That means somebody in a different department looks at the signature, and then they contact the voter attached to that signature and say, hey, did you send this in? Because we can't read the signature. So tens of thousands of them were being denied, anywhere between 20 and 45% of all of the mail-in ballots they were looking at. The signatures were not matching.
Like, where does this number come from? I don't anywhere. And also 25 to 45% is a pretty big swing, right? It's not like 20 to 27% or 19 to 24% or anything like that. It's just, 25 to 45%.
And they would go to send them over to curing, but the people in curing weren't getting that many. They were getting just a tiny fraction. The people said that about 90% of the signatures that they deemed were bad were never making it over to the curing department.
Jeez.
Somebody, and the whistleblowers was pushing them through without having them cured. And so this is why we want a judge to.
But wait, weren't they complaining about how long it was taking to count the ballots? And now they're like complaining. Whatever. They're just complaining because they lost.
Give us access to those. We want a judge to give it. And how, if we do have a situation where votes are being, phony votes are being put in with no people attached to them, it makes sense that they would want to do that, right? Because when you call the cure, you're going to find out there's no human being on the other end of that ballot.
Who filled out the ballot?
We want to look at all. We want a judge to give us access to look at all of those signatures and compare them. And we're happy to do the work because this is our only security feature to mail-in ballots, and if we blow that off, then we don't.
Well, no, the other security feature is it's mailed to your home, where you have to demonstrate that you live, or sign under penalty of perjury saying that you live there, and then you sign it. But like, at least in California, the who you are verification process is done before the election, not during the election.
We truly don't have secure elections. It was the Runbeck whistleblower who talked about the 300,000 ballots that were had no chain of custody. We don't know where they came from. And when you don't have a chain of custody,
dude, the post office probably brought them there.
That means bad ballots, fake ballots can get brought in, or legal ballots can get pulled out. We need to have a better handle of our elections. We also discovered that 25,000 additional ballots were brought into the system after Election Day. And the days after the election day, all of a sudden, the number of ballots that they were counting and adding to the system increased by 25,000 ballots with no chain of custody. And we want to find out, where did those 25,000 ballots come from?
Probably from the election office.
It's very curious.
Yeah, curious is one word for it. So the remedy is asking for a new election. Walk us through this then, Carrie, because people have been fighting the election integrity thing for a while in 2020.
Oh, it'd be great to watch her lose again, but I think what a pain in the ass, what a fucking shit show a second election would be.
People were saying, making huge proclamations. What do you think is the path forward here? It's in front of a judge. The election was certified, but now this is the election challenge and contention. Where are we at?
I don't think like a district court judge has the power to overturn an election.
Well, there's a bunch of different things we're asking for. One of them is we're asking to be able to take a look at those envelopes and the corresponding signatures in the database that would match, so we can go ahead and figure out if these matches are. We believe there may be upwards of 130,000 bad ballots because of signature verification problems that were mismatched. Some of that
Man, I don't even know what my signature on my ID looks like, and I don't know what the signature I put on my ballot looks like. I fucking hope they had tens of thousands of fucking handwriting experts there to figure it out. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, the standard that they want here now is like so high.
was done at an off-site contractor, third-party contractor, with no observers watching that curing process. That was what another whistleblower told us about. So we want to look at those. We're asking a judge to let us see that. And then we're also asking a judge to either set aside Maricopa County or redo Maricopa County. And we believe that's a reasonable ask, considering all that we've.
What they need is a fucking dictator, or like a usurper of some kind. They don't need a judge. What they need is like the person who would do this is a tyrant, not a judge. And some judges run little tyrannies in their fucking courtroom, I'm sure, but they're little tyrannies.
Uncovered here. And again, we have 278 pages of exhibits and sworn, signed declarations at the penalty of perjury, attesting to all that went wrong in our election. We want to make sure if the election is redone, that people like Katie Hobbs and Stephen Richer and Bill Gates and the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors have nothing to do with it.
But those people run. Who the fuck's gonna? Except for the people whose job it is to run the election at the state and county level, who the fuck else is going to run the election? Going to Palantir run it or what?
Proven that there is a conflict of interest. They've proven their ineptitude already, and we need an independent outside
Twitter
source
poll?
running our election that we can trust.
You have a 70-page lawsuit with 250 pages of exhibits. It's an amazing thing. We have it right here. We've been reading through it. And it's full of data.
All kinds of people submit all kinds of garbage to the courts. This is not extraordinary or amazing. All kind of crackpots are submitting all kind of crazy shit to the courts all the time.
There's new information that previously was not made public. A new election, minimum, very minimum, a new election. And you just look at the signature verification issue itself. I really pray that there's going to be a courageous judge out there, whatever judge is in front of. 20 seconds, Carrie, then we have to end the hour.
We have a judge who was assigned to it, Peter Thompson, and we're really looking forward and hoping that he has an open heart and an open mind and will adhere to the Constitution, and we trust that he will.
Constitution is when a single judge overturns an entire state election.
And I have faith. There's a lot of cases coming down on this right now. We've got one coming down today in Mojave County. Harris County, Texas is fighting the election there, asking for a redo.
Carrie Lake, thank you so much.
I mean, everybody should get a mulligan, right?
Thank you, Carrie.
Everybody's entitled to a mulligan. What do you mean a redo of the election? That's fucking, come on. They don't do redos of elections. Why would they do a redo of the election? Anyway, here's Trump's attorney, I guess, or the attorney for Trump's campaign for 2024, talking about how all that weird shit that Matt Taibbi is putting up on Twitter is going to hook Carrie Lake up with governorship of Arizona.
The evidence in this case is so solid, I don't know how a court could dismiss it. We've got emails from the Secretary of State / Democrat candidate colluding with Twitter and the federal government to censor political speech, election speech. You've got the Maricopa County recorder colluding with Twitter and the federal government to censor election speech, to manipulate the outcome of this election. I'm not too worried about whether Katie Hobbs gets inaugurated or not. As long as Carrie Lake wins her contest, she
lost her contest.
Whether Katie Hobbs has to step down or what the situation is, I'm not too worried about that, but I expect Carrie Lake to have a very solid showing in this case and hopefully be the governor of Arizona.
Should have won your election, Carrie. Should have won your election. What do you mean a solid showing in this case? I have a feeling the case is just going to get fucking thrown out. Because I think the judge is probably going to say some judgy shit like, I do not have the authority to do, I have limited authority as a judge. I can do anything, but I cannot from this bench overturn an election because I think you should have won. Like, I think that would, the judges, like whoever they're trying to send this to, the response is going to be something along those lines. This court does not have the power to give you what you want. Anyway, this is, we watched some of the Turning Point USA event that was this weekend. Here's Carrie Lake's entrance at that Turning Point USA event. I heard it's something. Whoa. My God. That was stupid. I would be embarrassed. I even really like electronic music, but I would be embarrassed. That's embarrassing. Here's a Elron Musk was sent by God Almighty, according to Benny Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this show. What did we do to deserve Elon Musk? I don't know. I'm not sure. I say my prayers. I go to church. I read my Bible, but I'm not sure why the dear Lord above blessed us with Elon Musk. We are not worthy, but here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This weekend, Elon Musk went on an absolute tirade, starting with this tweet, a tweet about pronouns, saying, my preferred pronouns are prosecute. Fauci.
One.
Oh,
you know what their pronouns are? One joke.
If you have a equivalent of taking a flamethrower to a hornet's nest, this is the tweet equivalent of that. But
I mean, probably yes, because you actually don't want to try to take a flamethrower to a hornet's nest, because the hornets that escape.
Hornet's nest is 17,000 times bigger than any hornet's nest you've ever seen, and the inside hornets are branch Covidians masked and quintuple vaxxed, and have
branch Covidians masked and quintuple vaxxed. Like, come on, dude.
At Elon Musk, and that is certainly what they did.
I have a feeling we're going to be making fun of Benny Johnson a lot more as we enter 2023. Benny Johnson. He has, in fact, shown himself to be a moron of the highest caliber. We're just learning about him, just getting to know him here on the Sunday show, but I have a feeling he'll be here kind of a lot. So here was they had that Twitter space after all these journalists got suspended. Here is Elon Musk joining the thing and then dipping as soon as anybody talked back to him.
In the last few hours with a handful of journalists being banned.
Well, as I'm sure everyone who's been doxxed would agree, showing real-time information about somebody's location is inappropriate, and I think everyone on this call would not like that to be done to them. And there's not going to be any distinction in the future between journalists, so-called journalists, and regular people. Everyone's going to be treated the same. You're not special because you're a journalist. You're a Twitter. You're a citizen. So no special treatment. You dox, you get suspended. End of story. So and ban evasion, or trying to be clever about it. Like, I posted a link to the real-time information. Is obviously that is obviously simply trying to evade the meaning. There's no different than actually showing real-time information.
So when you're saying posting a link to it, I mean, some of the people like Drew and Ryan Mack from the New York Times who were banned were they were reporting on it in the course of sort of pretty normal journalistic endeavors. You consider that like a tricky attempt at ban evasion?
You show the link to the real-time information, ban evasion, obviously.
Drew, I don't think you were posting the real-time information, right?
I mean, you're suggesting that we're sharing your address, which is not true. And you're suggesting that we're posting. We never. I never posted your address.
You posted a link to the address.
We posted a link. In the course of reporting about Elon Jet, we posted links to Elon Jet, which are now not online, and now banned on Twitter. And Twitter also, of course, marks even the Instagram and Mastodon accounts of Elon Jet as harmful. Using, we have to acknowledge, using the same exact link blocking technique that you have criticized as part of the Hunter Biden New York Post story in 2020. So what is different here and there?
No more acceptable for me. It's no more acceptable for me, for you, than it is for me. It's the same thing. So anyway.
So it's unacceptable what you're doing?
No. What you dox, you get suspended, end of story. That's it.
Elon, I have to ask, I think what everyone's wondering is it's highly unusual for journalists at the Washington Post and the New York Times to have their Twitter accounts suspended. And it just so happens that it's, the boss in charge, so, what's the deal there? Oh, I think Elon has left. I guess
that's unfortunate because
the answer.
Yeah,
guess what the difference is there.
Man, I was raring to go, guys.
I know, I was too.
I was going to order a Cybertruck.
I just want to say, sorry, I don't want to browbeat him. And this is reporting, right? There is value to reporting where people go. Most of what Elon Jet shared was him going to the factory in California or the factory in Texas.
Yeah. This is all stupid. The story about the stalker and his kid, that story changed a couple times, so I don't believe that it was being told in a way that had anything to do with the way Elon was telling it. And he was also implying that sharing the publicly available information about the tail number, about his jet, that's what the tail number is there for, that's somehow doxing. And it's like, I don't know. Last time I parked my private jet in San Jose, and now I guess exactly where I'm going to get a burrito tomorrow. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. This is like city level information or major metropolitan level information that you can get from this. You just know that the jet parked there. You have no idea where someone is after they get off that jet. And not for nothing, like if you really cared about this, you just sell your jet and charter jets all the time when you need them. Like, come on, man. Come on. Well, here's Tucker. Tucker thinks that old Elron Musk is going to maybe just release people's direct messages, which actually sure, he might get mad at people and publish their DMs. Anything's fucking possible. The guy's a maniac.
Yes, that's possible. And you can see why various governments would want access to the information that Twitter had. Keep in mind that Twitter's direct message DM feature functioned for many years as a kind of private text app for some of the world's most prominent people. So if you wanted to know what high government officials really thought, or if you wanted to know what well-informed sources were telling reporters off the record, you would want to see those messages. Did Twitter executives ever share those DMs, those private messages, with anyone outside the company without a warrant? We strongly suspect that they did.
Oh, okay.
The proof, of course, resides on Twitter's servers, along with a lot else. Think about it. If Twitter has been functioning as an arm of government intel agencies, and clearly it has been, then its internal documents will contain information about all kinds of things. Not just about the silencing of Donald Trump. Not just about Tony Fauci's buffoonish lies about the COVID shot. No. Information about big history-shaping events. The sabotage of Nord Stream 2, for example. The supposed poison gas attacks in Syria, both of them. The imprisonment of Julian Assange. Why is he there? The theft of incriminating emails from the DNC. What was that story? The motive behind the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And much, much more. In other words, Elon Musk now has control of the most significant trove of secret information ever to reside in private hands. So far, we have not seen much of it, and you have to wonder why we haven't. Let's hope that we do.
So he wants Elon to publish your DMs. If you're famous or Tucker doesn't like you, he wants Elon to publish your DMs, which would be highly unethical. My God. Those things they're like DMs or direct messages. They're not public. I don't think Elon Musk wouldn't ever do such a thing, but it's not high on my list of predictions that Elon's just going to publish a bunch of people's DMs that he doesn't like. It's not that he won't. It's just that I don't think he will. So here we go. Everybody, Elon spent a lot of money on Twitter, And he spent like way more money than it's worth, actually. So like, why are you so mad that he's wilding out a little bit? Why are you so mad that he's having a little fun?
I love it. But I am not surprised. The only thing I'm surprised about with Elon Musk is that he didn't start doing this sooner. He spent $44 billion on this money-losing sewage lagoon. And do you know, Jesse, you understand this. Do you know how badly people whine and behave when they pay for a full-price first-class airline ticket? So can you imagine spending $44 billion on this heap of crap? So he's selling Tesla stock to prop it up. He sold more than $3.5 billion in Tesla stock recently, $23 billion worth of Tesla stock this year. Tesla stock fell 16% in the last 5 days. It's at like a multi-year low. And he's got to extract some pleasure out of this nightmare. So
just let him while out. It's fun.
Having all that money if you can't throw your weight around and banish some people you find irksome. That's all he's doing. Right now, he's a benevolent king. Wait until he really starts going after people he doesn't like. Listen,
wait, what?
We know how like crazy rich people can act. He's not anywhere close to Howard Hughes
that we have moved from.
Oh, now the bar is he's not going as far out as Howard Hughes. He hadn't locked himself somewhere and fucking not been seen for years.
Savior of the First Amendment to sort of decent whatever dictator, and that's cool.
No, I think all of these people should be brought back on the platform, but it's not, in Elon's world, it's not really free speech, it's spee-freach.
What?
Oh, I guess I didn't get that memo, and now I completely understand what's going on.
Even the other Fox News host was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, who was that lady, and why does she, what was she talking about? Like, oh, he bought a company and it was a big business mistake. So just like, I don't know, boys will be boys or whatever the fuck. I don't know, man. That was like the weirdest King Elon shit I think I've ever seen. So here's Mike Lindell. He's running for the GOP chair against Ronna McDaniel and probably a bunch of other wonderful people. And he's already talking about the election, which I think he might think is an election like we have for like the governor or the president. I don't think just listen to the way he talks about the election or the probably more like a selection of the GOP chair.
Everyone I've talked to, Steve, it's a very common theme. Ronna has failed. I asked a lot of them, I said, why would she even run again if she loves our country? And the common theme was ego, 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 and then money. And I want everybody to know
that's where the big bucks are.
I'm going to put it right back into the RNC, because immediately we're going to change it into this amazing, amazing organization where the donors are going to have trust again and pour money into it. And we're going to put the money in the right places. You have to spend money to get a return on your investment. And when they say
that's a big deal. You're saying that you will not take a penny. You will not take a salary from the RNC.
Absolutely, and I will put it right back into the RNC. And Steve, when they say I don't have a chance, here's where they might not realize that this is 168, 3 from each state that vote, which I get to call to each one of them individually. And
that'll help. I'm going to actually call these people and fucking harangue them for 15, 20 minutes about why they need to vote for me. Yeah, that'll help, Mike. Call all these people. These kind of old, crusty Republican, kind of old money pocket watch types. Yeah, call them when you're on a good one.
They use paper ballots, hand counted, no machines. Whoa, maybe the people that are saying that I can't win think there's going to be machines involved. I don't know.
Get the fuck out of here. He's like, oh, it's going to have paper ballots. Dude, if this guy, some of them might vote for him just because they don't know who he is or they think he's like a popular Republican, but I guarantee you if he calls every one of these people, they're going to be less inclined to vote for him for this in this like GOP insider election for the head of the party. So here's Ronna McDaniel, who's also like not a great person just because she's Just because Mike Lindell doesn't like her doesn't mean she's great. Here's her talking about oh no, she's going to throw Melania Trump under the bus. Fuck yeah, I'm here for it.
And Steve, it takes money to raise money, but a vast majority of this is White House support. And I have to credit President Trump with this. Things like the White House Christmas parties, which we did 13 a year, or Hanukkah parties, where we did 3 a year, or Easter egg rolls, or the congressional picnic. The RNC paid for that to support the White House because he didn't want taxpayers to pay for it. And I think everyone should applaud that. Taxpayers shouldn't be paying for these things, and the RNC should.
No, actually, I think the fucking public, if they're going to have a Christmas party at the White House, officially sanctioned by the government, I think the public should be paying for it. I don't think that a political party should be throwing. I think the public should pay for it.
That's the support staff going on Air Force One.
But
don't have the fucking party.
13 Christmas parties
each year
for 4 years per year for 4 years, and you put on 3 Hanukkah parties each. So that would be 16 parties for 4 years, right? So
they're blaming Melania.
And the RNC paid for those?
Correct. And the congressional picnic and the Easter egg rolls. Anything that the White House did, Christmas ornaments that the First Lady gave out. The First Lady's office worked with us. We created a budget. They were very frugal. The president, if you know him, and you know him, Steve.
She's trying not to throw Melania under the bus, but she's throwing Melania under the bus here. Easter egg rolls. Yeah. Sounds delicious.
Into the RNC. We actually had an account called the White House Trust to support White House events.
Okay. Yeah, I think if the White House is putting on a party, it shouldn't be thrown by a corporation either. Shouldn't be able to put that money in there. Just come on. The public can eat that. There's 350 million of us. How fucking expensive can Melania's obnoxious party be? Like, really? I wouldn't want to go, so we can save money on food, I guess. So we've been looking out for the war on Christmas this year, and we haven't seen it until just now.
Well, the war on Christmas is very, very real, folks, especially in deep blue cities. For example, the city of brotherly love, city of Philadelphia, may have just earned the woke crown for trying to cancel the Christmas tree. Take a look at this. Philly officials refused to call their tree a Christmas tree. Instead, they refer to it as a holiday.
Oh, no, this is such a sad war on Christmas this year. I feel sorry for the other side of the war on Christmas because we won. Our side won the war on Christmas. Everybody's hella chill this year. Nobody's fighting over happy holidays or Merry Christmas. Nobody got trampled after the day after Thanksgiving anywhere. Like, I think we won the war on Christmas. And these people, they're not even fucking doing a good job of being salty about it. This is a weak showing.
A tree or a winter tree. Joining me now, National Director of Priests for Life and Newsmax contributor, Father Frank Pavone. Father, thanks for joining us. What is Eric. This obsession with? Why did they want to take Christ out of Christmas? I don't hear it for any other religion, not for Judaism, really, not for Islam, anywhere. But what's with Christ coming out of Christmas?
Well, to be fair, the other two religions you mentioned, they don't worship Christ, and their Christmas is not a religious holiday for those people. So it's come on, dude. What a poor showing in this year's war. We used to have like Bill O'Reilly, like having fucking parents come on and cry because they changed the name of they changed like a word in a Christmas song.
You know, Eric, when you think about it, it's the same reason that Christ ended up crucified. We believe in a religion where the leader of it was canceled in the most dramatic and violent way and then undid that. Jesus Christ is the biggest threat to the woke culture. Why? Woke culture denies truth itself. And Jesus said, I am the truth. Woke culture denies that there's any morality. Jesus taught a way of life rooted in morality, which in turn is rooted in God, not in what we think is right and wrong. But Christianity has always been the story of rejection.
Yo, this is the saddest war on Christmas year ever. Like, usually there's some fucking hubbub and shit about it. This year, that's it. I mean, so far this year, this is the first war on Christmas segment we've played. And I mean, let's be honest. It was a little whiny. It was a little poor. It was a little more poor me and less like the secularists are coming for your babies or whatever. It was like, wah, Wah, wah. They lost. We won the war on Christmas. You know how we won the war on Christmas? Woke Jesus is how we won the war on Christmas. Fucking woke Jesus came in and saved the day. So they're having the House Freedom Caucus decided to have a bit of a sad party because they lost the war on Christmas.
Get over here, Brian.
Sir, we're live streaming right now. Where are we at right now?
We're in Tim Burchett's office. That's my office. 1122 Longworth. You're not here. You're missing out. Bobert, say hey. I did fresh charcuterie right here.
There we go.
Charcuterie? What the fuck is this? No. This. I think this did more to fucking destroy Christmas than any fucking woke shit that ever happened. My God.
Come on in, guys. What? Oh, is it? I got drinks too. Mountain Dew. You want Mountain Dew? Oh, yeah. Hey, who's supposed to be manning the Mountain Dew over here? Knock, are you in charge of this? All right.
They're like, we're on a live stream, try not to be lame. And they're like, oh, I'll be cool as fuck, actually.
Come on, guys, you know the words.
Night.
You know the words.
Holy night. All is full. All is bright.
I feel so sorry for these people.
Brother and child.
I'm so embarrassed for all of these people. Was he even playing the correct chords? I don't know. I'm not a Christmas music expert or a guitar expert, but it's possible he wasn't playing the right chords, and that would be quite funny. So we're definitely not plowing through this docket here, so we're gonna have to skip some stories here. Oh, here we go. Here's Newsmax versus the American Girl dolls. This is one of the ones people were dunking on the most this week. So I managed not to watch it. But I bet it's amazing. I think I've seen versions of this before. So the Newsmax host says he couldn't find an American Girl doll that looked like his doll. Oh God.
So you want people to stop buying American Girls and all the stuff, the accessories that you can buy as well.
That's cancel culture.
How long has this been going on with American Girls? I took my 6-year-old to the store in Rockefeller Center, like the American Girl experience. And, typically girls that are into American Girls, they get a doll that looks like them, and you can get an outfit that, so you can match your doll. We were in there, and my daughter's just a cute little 6-year-old white girl. We couldn't find anybody that looked like my daughter. It was the whole place. It was like wokeified. It was
wokified. Wait, there were no little white girls in the American Girl doll store. Get the fuck out of here, dude. This is the biggest lie that anyone has ever told. The Rockefeller Center American Girl fucking doll store doesn't have any little white girls. Shut the fuck up.
Actually, it was kind of a bizarre experience. How long has this been going on with American Girl?
I think it was in the early 2000s that they sort of changed their brand to girl empowerment, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's politicized, this girl empowerment idea. So I think that this particular step with this book is a new.
But look at they're showing look 1, 2, 3 out of the 6 people in this are little white girls. Look, your example.
They've taken because it is so insane to be telling little girls.
Oh, look, another little white girl. Like, what? Yo. Whoever's producing this show hates these people.
Their bodies, because that is not body empowerment or girl empowerment. That's self-loathing. That's exactly what you don't want little girls to do.
That one had a tan. Oh my God. Yeah, they just showed that there's no little white girls in the American Girl, that they proceeded to show slide after slide or image after image that included little white girls. So here's Marjorie the Gathering. She is mad about the available products at your local drugstore. This is I don't know what event this is from. Imagine being mad at a wide selection of products.
By the way, you can pick up a butt
plug or dildo at Target and CVS nowadays. I don't even know how we got here. Sorry, you may still be finishing your dessert. I apologize. No, but this is the state that we're living in right now. And it's so weird.
I don't know if you can buy those things at Target. Maybe you can. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be better if you could than if you couldn't. I don't see what the problem is there. But the crowd didn't really want to hear that shit, though. They were there trying to have like a nice, polite fascist dinner, and they didn't want to hear any shit about butt plugs and dildos. This week's palate cleanser is really cute. Definitely different than other palate cleansers we've ever done, but this one is pretty cute. The kids are, well, at least they're funny. I guess they're supposed to be singing Silent Night, and well, here you go. Best rendition of Silent Night I've ever heard. That kid's fucking cool. Good job, kid. Good job. I bet that kid's gonna be an atheist. Here's the a hearing. This is from, I believe that'd be Friday of this week. He had a bar disciplinary hearing, and here's like the end of a rant he decided to go on during his bar disciplinary hearing.
There may be another side to this case. I'm unfortunately the lawyer who has to represent the fact that there is another side to this case. And the fact that you advocate that side of the case does not make you a traitor. It doesn't make you any more dedicated to democracy than Mr. Fox is. And I'll put my work to democracy. I'll put my life at risk and the times that I did for democracy up against Mr. Fox and anyone else's. And for that man to engage in that kind of a personal attack when there was no record of that, and for you to allow him to do that, I consider to be an outrage. And I am personally offended.
Look, his lawyer, did you hear his lawyer? His lawyer's trying to get him to shut up.
I don't know what has happened to the defensive lawyers who take on unpopular causes, because that is exactly what I did. And I have more than a basis for 3/4 of the cases that come into your purview for bringing this case. It just happened.
So I have more. So he just copped to like not having a basis for approximately 1/4 of the cases that he fucking brought. Like what?
That my side of it is politically incorrect.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Unless there's anything else, we're adjourned. Thank you.
I like how nobody even replied to him. So this appears to be the day. This clip is not here. I'm afraid. Hold on. Okay, they didn't ban Ron Filipkowski yet. That clip's not there, but there was a wild clip of him on his Mike Lindell show from Thursday, but that clip's not there anymore. So we haven't had a clip of Liz Crokin in quite some time. If you remember, Liz Crokin was real big during Pizzagate, real big during QAnon, and then she kind of went away after being made fun of a lot. Well, she's back, and I don't know what she has to say, but it's probably, a little cooked. Oh, shout out to Right Wing Watch.
Last night you were at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
You made an announcement. Do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah. So America's Future, which is General Flynn's foundation, is working very hard to combat the human trafficking. And they're putting a team together that is going to educate people on this, films, videos, articles. They're gonna tackle this head on. So they're gonna educate people on this. They're gonna be on the ground, going to communities, eradicating it. And they're also going to be offering services to help victims. And so I have been working with Mary Flynn, who's the executive director, on this. I'm going to be part
So
of
if I'm not mistaken, the last time we saw Liz Crokin, she was in Fall of the Cabal.
part of their board. We announced that last night to combat human trafficking. And we had this wonderful fundraiser to raise money for this cause at Mar-a-Lago last night. And I got the privilege and the honor to speak at Mar-a-Lago about Pizzagate at the fundraiser.
Whoa. They're just like, oh, just have Liz Crokin here. She'll tell you about Pizzagate and like ankle bracelets and fucking Tom Hanks and shit. It'll be great. It'll be great.
At the cocktail reception that we had outside by the pool before we went to the ballroom for dinner. And, 6 years ago, I was a lone soldier fighting this. No one wanted to even say the word Pizzagate because the media had so successfully redefined what it is, and it was so taboo. And
it was defined pretty well. Whether or not she was directly saying it, Pizzagate was a conspiracy theory in which they believed that under Comet Ping Pong was a basement torture chamber for children. The place doesn't have a basement. That's it. That's the end of the story.
I can't even tell you how badly I was ostracized for talking about Pizzagate, exposing Pizzagate, and how many friends I lost, and what a lonely journey it was. So to go from, that to being at Mar-a-Lago and being able to freely talk about Pizzagate there and say, this is real, and there's no more tiptoeing around.
But if she means just broadly that humans are trafficked in the world, yeah, that's real. But the Pizzagate stuff was like way more specific claims.
It was just an incredible experience.
Shout out to Right Wing Watch. Well, she's back. That's great. I mean, I like playing clips of Liz Crokin. I don't like Liz Crokin, but those are two completely different propositions. Okay, everybody, here we go. Did you know that censorship might be bad, but what's worse than censorship is the idea that you should think before you open your fucking mouth? Here's something from the Foundation Against Intolerance and Racism about thinking before you open your fucking mouth.
In the story of the Emperor's New Clothes, two swindlers promise to provide an emperor with magnificent new clothes that will be invisible to those who are stupid or incompetent. Officials see no clothes are being produced on the swindlers' looms.
But people are pretending. At least they're pretending.
Say anything to avoid being seen as a fool. When the emperor walked through the city in his new clothes, everyone could see that he was naked, but no one would be the one to say it. But then came along a child who, in his naivete, was willing to defy consensus and speak out. The thing about the child in the story
is he grew up to be Glenn Lowry, the host of this fucking video.
It's not even that other people heard him say it. It's that everybody knows that everybody else heard him say it. The child created a circumstance in which it is now common, shared knowledge that the emperor has no clothes. German political scientist Elisabeth Neumann coined a term that describes this phenomenon: the spiral of silence. In a spiral of silence.
They had to do a real spiral. Oh, no. If you're listening to the podcast, you got to check the story list or the show notes. This video is particularly bad.
Thus, the masses believe they are alone or in a small minority of people with the stigmatized view, and yet, in fact, they are indeed one of the masses.
It's a silent majority idea.
In controlled areas of our society today, we are suffering from a spiral of silence when it comes to the topic of social justice. In that half of America, many people don't like it when Colin Kaepernick takes a knee at a football game and says, "I'm not going to stand for this Pledge of Allegiance." Or when a Black Lives Matter activist stands up with his bald fist and says, "Burn this down," about a city.
But the video there was so bad. Look at the fucking awful fucking animation of a riot. Like, my God. What the fuck?
But they are too afraid to be the only one in their
yeah. If you're listening, if you're like on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, you absolutely have to go into the show notes and check out this video.
saying it, to be perceived as a racist or supporter of racist for holding mild views that most of America holds. Though censorship is often spoken of as the leading threat to open discourse, the more subtle threat is the voluntary limitation on one's own speech, creating a spiral of silence. It is not the iron fist of repression, but the velvet glove of seduction that is the real problem.
God, I just cannot stress to the audio only listeners enough. Go to the show notes. Go watch this video.
Spirals of silence can cause people with extreme views to drive moderates out of the conversation. In effect, the moderates hoard their opinions. Hence, the public discourse on some issues, for example, abortion, can become more polarized.
We have found common ground on abortion, though. It's what was the law of the land before Roe versus Wade was overturned. Like 2-1 or 3-1 Americans had common ground that those laws were correct or just kind of good enough. So what about that?
Distribution of public opinion. Once the practice of punishing those who express certain ideas is well established, the only ones who will risk ostracism by speaking recklessly are those who place so little value on conforming to their community that they must be presumed not to share their dearest common values.
Wait, what the fuck is this?
Those, for example, who genuinely value racial equality know that even if they harbor reservations about the effectiveness or ethics of affirmative action, if they utter their reservations in the wrong circles, they will be perceived as an opponent of racial justice, so they say nothing at all. This silencing of such conversations has a devastating impact on our ability to improve society.
So he's talking about you silencing yourself because you don't want to argue with somebody about some shit, right? That's pretty much all he's saying. He's like, oh, you think something and then you don't say it because you don't want to get into an argument with people or have people think you're an asshole. We all do that all the time. That's good, actually, that if you go, oh, I thought that, I shouldn't say it. Because we all think things and you're like, nah, today's not the day. Let's not say this today. Let's just not say this today. We all have to do that, or else we'd all get into fights all the time.
Society. The notion of objective research on, say, police interactions with Black Americans, or the lifetime effects of fatherless homes, can have no meaning if, when the results are reported, other scientists are mainly concerned to pose the ad hominem query. Just what kind of economists, sociologists, etc. would say this? Not only will
maybe the work's bad
to silence, the very way in which research,
look, it's all scribbles, you can't even read it,
and consensus about the facts is formed, will be altered. If, when a study yields an unpopular conclusion, its author is subjected to ostracism, and
he just deleted it himself, though.
What the community is.
Look, he's got all these pictures of fucking cops, like just fucking waving their gun around and shit behind him. My God, this video is amazing. This is such a shitty video. This is really long. People can check out the rest of it on their own time if they feel like it. We're kind of up against it, and I do want to get to a couple more stories here before we go into the post game. Here we go. We got Candace Owens. If she was the head of your HR department where you work, that would be a very, very bad thing. And she's going to explain why right now.
Yes, I do discriminate. You know, the left does this thing where they take words and they just make them sound bad or they make them sound good. They're very good at linguistics, right? So a bad thing that they make sound good is like abortion. They call it Planned Parenthood. You go, oh, that's lovely. No, but actually they're killing a bunch of infants in the womb. So that's.
But Planned Parenthood is a place. Abortion is a thing. Planned Parenthood is a noun. Abortions are it's an implied verb. Like, she's just, what the fuck?
It's actually not a good thing. And
Does she
then
think you can't get an abortion anywhere else?
terms, you go, what do they mean? Cisgender, heteronormative, which basically means that you're not problematic enough. And they kind of try to smear you or libel you.
No, heteronormative, it means hetero, which would be like heterosexual, and then normative. Normative just kind of means that in the context that people use it is that like the default assumption that people make is that you're straight. That's all heteronormative means. It's literally the default assumption is that you're straight. That's what that means.
The basis that there's nothing wrong with you enough. And also there's just, you're too perfect. You're too normal. So I'm going to call you cisgender or whatever.
You're too perfect. I'm going to call you cisgender. Most people are cisgender. And most people live in America, live some version of like a more heteronormative lifestyle. That's why the word normative could be used there, actually. That word means something. Or that fucking part of the word means something. You know what? Actually, fuck etymology. Fuck it. Fuck doing any kind of word trees. Fuck learning what the root word of anything is. What is a prefix and a suffix? Get out of here.
And I've started thinking about this weekend in terms of the word discrimination. It's become a dirty word. You're not allowed to discriminate. Oh my God, that's discrimination. You shouldn't do that. You should not discriminate. And actually,
we could find videos of her complaining about being discriminated against because she either doesn't have the vaccine or doesn't want to wear a mask. 100%. Within the last 6 months, easily.
Quite frankly, I think we need to discriminate. I discriminate all the time, every single day. And this morning, I just jotted down a few examples of when I discriminate. And I'm going to share them with you so that you can feel comfortable sharing your list with your friends. Ready? I discriminate when I hire. I think that's probably illegal, but who doesn't discriminate when they hire?
Well, wait, no, but what factors are you discriminating at? Like, I would be like, you can't do age discrimination unless the person that's applying is 9. Then you can do age discrimination because it's illegal to hire them if they're 9. So like, you would also, if the job requires typing, you would discriminate against people who don't know how to type. But that's not the why you're discriminating is what's important, not the fact. Of course, you're going to pick one candidate over another for any number of reasons. If you only are hiring one person, sure. You don't have to hire everybody.
It even makes sense, especially if I'm hiring for childcare. A woman walks through my door and she makes me uncomfortable for any reason at all. It could be any reason. I'm not going to hire her. Why would I allow this person who makes me uncomfortable watch my children? Well, we should discriminate. Of course I'm going to discriminate. If she looks like a freak, she can't watch my child. It's that simple.
Okay. But those are like, that's not illegal. You're like, oh, I just, I wanted someone kinder. I wanted someone, I don't know. I wanted someone that I click with to fucking watch my kids. That's reasonable. Unless it's just, unless everybody you don't click with, but then like, you can't really read somebody's mind to figure that out anyway. And you're just hiring one person to watch your kids. You should hire somebody you click with and somebody that you feel comfortable around. Although people who are going to con you are going to be good at making you feel comfortable. So you gotta, you just gotta be a little skeptical of yourself too in that situation. Maybe that's why it's good to have if you have a partner will tell you that they disagree with you. Anyway, here we go. We're running a little over, but we'll run 2 more clips here, and then we'll go into the red light, everybody. I don't know how this is happening, but Matt Walsh is getting worse.
We say, well, all cultures are equal. You can't judge any culture. No culture is better than any other culture. That is clearly not the case, as evidenced by the human sacrifices among the Aztecs. The Spanish culture.
Wait a minute.
The Spanish who conquered the Aztecs. Their culture.
The Spanish who conquered the Aztecs, famous for never fucking killing a fool. It was like an imperial country. It was a Spanish empire. And he's like, oh, the people who lived here when the Spanish conquered them, they killed people. Well, how many do you think the Spanish maybe killed a bunch of people when they conquered the place? How long would it take are we just doing this based on body count or maybe there's some other biases at play in the way that Mr. Walsh is looking at the history here?
Civilization was clearly better than the Aztec culture. And this is me talking now, not Ben. The Spanish culture was superior.
The Spanish conquistadors, known for never genociding anyone.
Every way. but they had not advanced anywhere near as far as the Europeans had. But when I say that the Spanish civilization was a superior civilization, I mean primarily morally. It was a morally superior civilization. The Spanish weren't perfect by any means, and they did practice slavery. But then again, every single civilization in the world in the 16th century practiced slavery, so that's not much of a surprise.
Did the people who were here when the Spanish got here, did they have any like slaves? Do you think they had slaves? Do you think they had like chattel slavery? I doubt it.
None of that compares to the Aztecs, though. It's okay for us in the West to admire and honor the great men who built our civilization. Men like Cortez, for instance. They were
Cortez.
Flawed. You know, they certainly were.
Sounds like a villain.
And Europeans were guilty of atrocities of their own. But nobody tells Native Americans that they can't be proud of their heritage. Nobody tells them that.
Well, I'm Matt Walsh, and I'm here to tell you that if you're not white, you have no business being proud of your heritage.
Even though in the case of the Aztecs and many other Indian civilizations, they were guilty of just barbaric atrocities. But no one tells Native Americans you can't be proud of your past and you can't have your own heroes that you look to. By the way, when Cortez launched his final siege of the capital city, where what is now Mexico City, it's true that ultimately the entire city was destroyed and almost every inhabitant was slaughtered.
However, you know, they had polite conversations about it.
But most of the wholesale slaughter did not happen on the part of the Spanish. It was on the part of the Indian allies of the Spanish, who had been oppressed for years by the Aztecs, and so they wanted vengeance. And so the other Indians went into they
Oh no! Oh come on! Actually, the other tribes actually were the ones who blew up the city. It just so happened that the Spanish were trying to take it over at the same time. That fucking hipster coffee shop ass fucking version of history. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, speaking of fucking garbage on the screen, here's Baked Alaska, who is apparently back. Nobody wanted this, but here's Baked Alaska. He's back. He got his Twitter account back, so he's gonna do a freestyle rap about it, apparently.
Fuck Elon Musk, I don't care about you. You want $8 from me, I don't say anything, but I say I criticize the Jews for $8 a month. How about fuck you and I want my account back? 12 hours later I was feeling depressed. I went to a hospital in a white dress, and they gave me all these pills and they said I was crazy and they said I'm in a mental hospital. I feel like I'm a fucking animal in a cage and they taking me to jail. Now I feel like I'm in hell. All I wanted to do was make fun of a liberal one more time. I said one more time. Hey, let's hear that rhyme. Twitter is gay. Twitter is gay. This the remix, but I say it all day. Twitter is gay, yeah, it's motherfucking gay. Twitter is gay, Twitter is gay. Twitter is motherfucking gay. I hate Twitter and it's so gay. Twitter is gay if I have anything to say. If I have anything to say, I would say Twitter's motherfucking gay.
Okay. Well, the podcast's over. I don't really have anything to say about the freestyle rap that we just heard, but thanks, podcast listeners. Thanks for tuning in every week. For those of you who tune in every week, and anybody new, make sure you're checking us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Echoplex Media, and our website is echoplexmedia.com. You can find our blog, The Defamation Times, there, and you can also find ways to support this project. Here's a band I saw live last night, which is why we didn't do Operation Catterday. This is Boomers by Periscope, and the live version from that show. Man, I hope they recorded it on the board there. We'll be back with Red Light, everybody.
If you like what we're doing at Echoplex and aren't into Twitch, please join our Patreon at patreon.com/Echoplex. For $5, you can get every show from beginning to end sent to you as an MP3, even the stuff we bleep out because it's too spicy for Twitch. Echoplex would not be where we are today if it wasn't for the community support we receive. Find out all the ways you can support the show at echoplexmedia.com/support.